Carl Jung's hidden concept reveals why you keep self-sabotaging. The shadow self isn't just a dark side. It's the exiled version of you. The part of your psyche you've disowned, hidden, and buried since childhood. Most people live their entire lives unaware of its existence, yet it silently dictates their choices, sabotages their relationships, and derails their success. I know this firsthand. For years, I couldn't escape cycles of self-destruction, until I discovered Carl Jung's radical truth. Your shadow isn't a flaw to fix. It's a disowned ally waiting to be reclaimed. Here's the paradox. Your shadow contains every trait you've ever rejected. The jealousy you deny, the anger you stifle, the neediness you shame. These aren't random flaws. They're parts of you that society, family, or past wounds taught you to amputate. But here's what nobody tells you. The more you reject these traits, the louder they scream for attention. Denied rage becomes passive aggression. Buried jealousy morphs into self-sabotage. Hidden fear of abandonment poisons intimacy. My wake-up call came when I realized my worst traits, my controlling nature, my fear of being left, weren't enemies. They were unhealed protectors. The moment I stopped fighting them and started dialoging with them, everything changed. When jealousy arises, I ask, what are you trying to guard me from? When anger flares, I inquire, what boundary needs defending? This isn't about excusing harmful behavior. It's about pulling these patterns into the light where they lose their power to control you. The shadow never disappears, but when you stop fearing it, you reclaim your agency. True freedom isn't perfection, it's wholeness. And it begins with one terrifying, liberating choice. Will you keep running from the parts of yourself you hate? Or will you finally turn and face them? The invisible puppeteer. Jung's secret to your self-sabotage. Your life is being controlled by a force you can't see. Carl Jung called it the shadow self, the part of your psyche where you've buried every trait society deemed unacceptable. For years, I blamed myself for repeating destructive patterns, sabotaging relationships, fleeing success, and drowning in guilt. Jung's breakthrough. The shadow isn't a flaw, it's your disowned identity. When you suppress traits like anger, jealousy, or neediness, they don't disappear. They fester in the dark, morphing into self-sabotage. That sudden urge to quit a dream job, the unexplained jealousy in a stable relationship, that's your shadow seizing control. The more you deny it, the louder it screams for acknowledgement. Why your dark side controls you, and how to stop it. Your unconscious mind is a saboteur in plain sight. Every time you vow, I'll never repeat this mistake, your shadow smirks, try me. I spent years ruining relationships the moment they deepened, picking fights, ghosting opportunities. Jung's research reveals why. The shadow uses outdated survival tactics to protect you. That fear of abandonment you buried at 12, it's still calling the shots at 30. But here's the truth. Your shadow isn't evil. It's a wounded child acting out. That jealousy, it's guarding against loss. That procrastination, it's shielding you from failure. To disarm it, you must stop fighting and start listening. The unconscious trap. How your shadow sabotages success. Imagine your psyche as a courtroom. Your conscious mind is the judge, rational, controlled. Your shadow is the defendant, screaming truths you refuse to hear. Every self-destructive habit, like my urge to burn bridges before promotions, is your shadow's plea. See me. Jung warned that ignoring the shadow is like ignoring a ticking time bomb. The traits you label toxic, selfishness, rage, often hold your greatest power if you reclaim them. From self-destruction to self-mastery, rewiring your shadow. Integration isn't about indulging darkness. It's psychological alchemy. Integration isn't about indulging darkness. It's psychological alchemy. Think of your shadow as raw ore, unrefined, jagged, and seemingly worthless. But beneath its rough exterior lies gold waiting to be extracted. When I began working with my controlling tendencies, I didn't let them run wild. I asked, what's the unmet need here? The answer shocked me. My need for control was really a desperate cry for safety. Childhood instability had wired me to equate control with survival. But through alchemy, that same trait transformed into discernment. Now, instead of micromanaging others, I channel that energy into strategic planning. My fear of abandonment, it became a compass for nurturing authentic connections, not clinging to toxic ones. This is the magic of integration. Unmask the impulse. I'm jealous of my friend's success. Mine its core. This jealousy is really grief over my own unrealized potential. Refine its energy. I'll use this frustration to fuel my creative goals. Jungian alchemy isn't passive. It's a forge. You must heed the ore of your shadow in the fires of self-inquiry. Hammer it with honesty, and cool it in the waters of compassion. What emerges isn't a better version of you, but a complete one. Your rage can become righteous boundaries. Your selfishness can evolve into self-respect. Even your pettiness, when redirected, sharpens your attention to detail. The shadow doesn't soften. It gains purpose. This is how you stop being a prisoner of your past and become an architect of your future. The darkness isn't your enemy. It's the unlit forge where your greatest strengths are waiting to be shaped. When I stopped shaming my controlling tendencies, I uncovered their root, a primal need for safety. My selfishness was self-preservation. Jung's method works like this. Name the pattern. I sabotage relationships when I feel vulnerable. Trace its origin. This began after my parents' divorce. Reframe its purpose. My detachment isn't cruelty, it's protection. Suddenly, your shadow becomes a collaborator, not an enemy. The Jungian blueprint. Breaking free from your worst habits. Your shadow's flaws are unpolished strengths. My perfectionism? Hyperfocus waiting to be channeled. My neediness? A craving for deep connection. Jung's work reveals that self-sabotage is a misdirected cry for wholeness. The fix. Daily journal prompts. What emotion am I avoiding today? Shadow dialogues. Speak to your anger. Ask, what are you protecting me from? Rituals of acceptance. Write a letter to your younger self, thanking your shadow for its misguided loyalty. If you're ready to stop being your own worst enemy, smash the like button and subscribe now. By subscribing, you'll unlock next week's deep dive into Jung's 3-step framework to reprogram your shadow. No gimmicks, just raw strategies to reclaim control. Your likes amplify this message, helping others break free from self-sabotage too. The journey to wholeness isn't about perfection. It's about courage. Will you choose to face yourself today?